Shalom and welcome. This episode will cover the question, what is Abraham and the ancient Israelites' Y DNA haplogroup? We will specifically speak from the perspective of the paternal descendants of Abraham, because I'm aware that other lineages and haplogroups could have been among the Israelites, but for this video, our main goal is to look for the direct bloodline lineage of Abraham and his descendants. What will be their haplogroup? With that being said, what is a Y DNA haplogroup? A Y chromosome is passed down from father to son. According to livingdna.com, titled What Are Haplogroups? It reads, the paternal haplogroup relates to your Y chromosome. And since that is a sex determining chromosome for men, it is passed down from father to son. This is the perfect tool to use when trying to determine paternal lineages. Therefore, if we're looking for the Y DNA of Abraham and his descendants, we have to use haplogroups. Abraham's Y chromosome would have been passed down to his son Isaac, to his grandson Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, and then the Israelites themselves, who paternally descend from Abraham and will carry his Y DNA haplogroup. With that being said, let's look at the first and one of the best candidates, in my opinion, for Abraham and the Israelites' Y DNA haplogroup. Abraham and the Israelites could be a downstream of E-V22. If Abraham is E-V22, then it's likely that he could descend from Akkadians and early Semitic populations that migrated into Mesopotamia from the Levant. According to the paper titled How Eurasia Was Born, it reads, the most plausible candidates for Semitic remigration to the Fertile Crescent, with TMRCAs, the most common recent ancestors, fitting the arrival of the Akkadians and other early Semitic peoples, are certain subclades of both E-V22 and E-V12 with relatively early TMRCAs present in the Middle East could be candidates for such remigration, such as E-FGC14382, TMRCA is 2200 BCE, and E-V3262, TMRCA is 2600 BCE. Therefore, Abraham and his Semitic ancestors could have been E-V22, who would have left the Levant and went into Mesopotamia. According to the genetic paper titled Bayesian Phylogenetic Analysis of Semitic Languages Identifies an Early Bronze Age Origin of Semitic in the Near East, and it reads, we estimate that Semitic had an early Bronze Age origin, approximately 5,750 years before present, in the Levant, followed by an expansion of Akkadian into Mesopotamia. So with all that being said, Abraham would descend from an E-V22 lineage that left the Levant and migrated into Mesopotamia, like other Proto-Semites and downstreams of haplogroup E. This would mean that the Israelites would paternally be E-V22. Modern Jewish populations do in fact carry E-V22. According to the webpage Eupedia titled Haplogroup E1b1b, it reads, E-V22 is found primarily in western Ethiopia, northern Egypt, and in the southern Levant. In Europe, it is therefore associated with the Phoenicians and the Jews. The Phoenicians could have disseminated E-V22 to Sicily, Sardinia, southern Spain, and the Maghreb, and the Jews too, to Greece and mainland Italy and Spain. According to the website titled JewishDNA.net, Jewish group of branches E1b-V22, it reads, the Jewish branches can be grouped according to their Y DNA characteristics. These characteristics are often related to a period between 10,000 YBP through 4,000 YBP. Some branches had a founding father effect in the period outside the Middle East, which gives information on the location of their ancestor at the time of the founding father. For other branches, it is more likely that the ancestors were in the Middle East, where in most cases no founding father effect took place and population growth was continuous. An overview of the Jewish groups of branches is present. Two likely origins for the Jewish V22 groups exist from Egypt or from Mesopotamia. Both areas are known to have V22 populations and large Jewish communities. And here is a chart showing the Jewish branches within E-V22. So now let's take a look at some of these branches and read the information dealing with them. On your own time, you can click all of the links and read about each E-V22. This branch has only one close branch according to Penelia. It consists of a few British and Dutch persons at about 1,700 years before present. A next branch is more than 3,300 years before present, away with people from a large region, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Southern Europe, and Western Europe. In 2022, several people have done NGS, Next Generation Sequencing. The old E-V22 has a history as described on ev22.net. It originates in southern Egypt. The exchange of people between Egypt and the Levant is old, older than the start of Judaism. This branch has a large Ashkenazi and a smaller Sephardic branch. Whether the first Jewish people in this branch became Jewish in the Levant or in Egypt cannot yet be determined. This branch is in the E1B-V22 group of Jewish branches. This branch is a member of the Ashkenazi branches. This branch is a member of the Sephardic branches. This branch has some matches that might be related to the start of Judaism. If you look on Y heat map and type in E-V22, you will see that it's distributed throughout the Mediterranean as well as in the Middle East, and it is seen within the Arabian Peninsula, Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, as well as a very nice and high distribution in the Levant, or the land of Israel. What's also interesting about E-V22 is that it's found among the Samaritan Cohen family from the tribe of Levi. According to Jewish Y-DNA branch, the owner of this kit reports himself as Cohen, tribe of Levi, Israelite Samaritan. This branch is in the E1B-V22 group of Jewish branches. This branch is a member of the Samaritan branches. Others are 149532 from an Israelite Samaritan tribe of Levi, Itmar, born Aaron Cohen. This branch is in the E1B-V22 group of Jewish branches. This branch is a member of the Sephardic branches. So as I stated before, E-V22 is found heavily within Mesopotamia or modern-day Iraq, as well as in modern-day Israel, specifically among Jewish populations. E-V22 is actually a downstream of E-M78. Therefore, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and Levi could be a downstream of E-V22. The priestly Cohen lineage from the tribe of Levi, the biggest and most important Samaritan family, the Cohen family, tradition, tribe of Levi, was found to belong to haplogroup E. This article predated the change to the classification of haplogroup E3b1-M78 to E3b1a-M78, and the further subdivision of E3b1a-M78 into 6 subclades based on research of Cruciani et al. According to Britannica, Samaritan member, a community now nearly extinct that claims to be related by blood to those Israelites of ancient Samaria who were not deported by the Assyrian conquerors of the Kingdom of Israel in 722 BCE. And according to reconstruction of patrilineages and matrilineages of Samaritans and other Israeli populations from Y chromosome and mitochondrial DNA sequence variation, it reads, haplogroup E3b1 defined by M78 was found in all 9 populations at frequencies of 10 through 16.7%. The Samaritan family, Cohen, carries this haplotype. And if you go to Jewish E Project, formerly Jewish E3b Project, Y-DNA classic chart, you'll see Israelite Samaritan tribe of Levi, Aaron, Israel, as haplogroup E-FT161981. But with all that being said, Jews aren't the only Middle Eastern population with E-V22. Many Arabs also carry E-V22, which makes a lot of sense because of Ishmael. If you type in Y full Y tree E-V22, you'll see a very high distribution of E-V22 in the Arabian Peninsula among Arab populations. Also, if you type in S&P tracker, you'll see an even distribution of E-V22 in both the Arabian Peninsula and the Middle East, as well as the Mediterranean. And the dispersion point for E-V22 and all its descendants is again within the Levant, the homeland of Semitic populations. So plenty of Arab and Jewish populations carry haplogroup E, and Abraham could be a downstream of haplogroup E-V22. The Israelites would be from this lineage. Therefore, here's one way you can look at things. Shem would be haplogroup DE. Then from Shem to Eber will be haplogroup E-P2, which can produce both E1B1A and E1B1B. Then Peleg or Ru would be haplogroup E-M35, and then from Peleg and Ru to Serg and Nahor, they will either produce EM78, and then from EM78 we'll have E-V22, and Abraham will be a downstream of E-V22. Therefore, with all of that being said, Abraham and the Israelites could have been a downstream of E-V22.